Did I start yet? Okay, welcome to a brand new hunt. I was gonna do this like an hour ago, but then my friends wanted me to join call on Discord, and then we chatted for a while. But now I am here. I need to wake up early for work tomorrow. Anyways, so I did a lot of preparation for this hunt. Look, I completed, like, actually completed the Mime Jr. Page. Nope, go back, go back, go back. After 5+ years of this game, I finally got to rank 10. And okay, I don't care about that. I don't care about that. Huh? Did I miss something? What am I doing wrong? What? Wait, hold on. Let me look something up, because is that not how it works in this game? Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay, well, I guess it's going to be a longer hunt than I thought, because I did this wrong. But, oh well. See, initially, I thought getting to rank 10 would get you the shiny charm. No, I just looked it up. No, it turns out you need to get to rank 10 for every goddamn Pokemon in this game. I ain't doing that. Rank 10 for every Pokedex entry? Oh, hell no. Yep, I guess fuck the shiny charm. Well, I guess this hunt is going to take me longer than I thought. Damn. No wonder 10 years, what? No matter 5 years later, I still don't have the shiny charm. Oh well, who needs a shiny charm? So I guess this hunt will take quite a long time, because I am going after a shiny Alpha Mime Jr. So, to get Mime Jr. in this game, there are these two locations right here. And only, like, at most 4 spawn in? Damn, so what was the point of me getting to rank 10? So, Mime Jr. there. There's a Mr. Mime there. Oh, 2 of them. Great. That's neither of what I want. And that's pretty much the hunt. Rinse and repeat. Unless we get a MMO. Anyway, so why am I doing this? Why am I doing this ridiculous hunt? Because as the title shows, I'm going for an alpha Mr. Rime, which isn't even in this game. Alright, so let me explain something to you real quick. So if you look at the game's Pokedex, only one Pokemon here can evolve into a Pokemon not in this game. And that is Mr. Mime. Everything else, sure, like, you can catch a Rowlet, evolve it into a non-Hisuian Decidueye, yada yada yada. But only one Pokemon can evolve into something else that is not in this game. And that one Pokemon, where is it? I lost it. Where is it? Where is it? I lost it. There it is. That one Pokemon is Mime Jr. It can evolve. You can send it to Sword and Shield, evolve it into a Galarian Mr. Mime, and then you can evolve the Galarian Mr. Mime into a Mr. Rime. Now, before Legend ZA came out, that was the only Pokemon that could be Alpha that was not in this game. But now that Legend ZA is out, you actually can have an Alpha Mr. Rime. You know what I'm trying to say. Anyways, so yeah, that's why I'm doing this. That's why I'm hunting this. I want a shiny... Well, I thought about this. I was working on my Alpha Dex, which, by the way, let me show you the progress on that. So these are the recent shinies I got ever since that Spiritomb. Look at this. Look at this. In the process of hunting for an Alpha Cherubi and Cherrim, I got a shiny Cherrim. That is exceptionally rare. I wasn't even going for a shiny. I don't even want a shiny. I wanted an Alpha. Oh well, at least me getting this goes towards me having an Alpha, a shiny living dex in this game if I ever choose to do one day. So here is my update on my Alpha Dex. I did actually get an Alpha Cherubi, and I'm so glad I got Cherubi, because I could have gotten an Alpha Cherrim, and then another Cherrim. So I'm really glad I got a Cherubi first, because if I get another Alpha Cherubi, I can just evolve it. So my Alpha Dex, obviously the Space-Time Distortion ones, I'm still missing. And I'm also now only missing 2 more Eevees. Fun fact, this Eevee and the second last one, I got both of these from a Space-Time Distortion at the same time. Well, not the same time, but I got both from the same Space-Time Distortion. So, as I hunt for the Alphas that are Space-Time Distortion exclusive, I am banking on also finding more Alpha Eevees, because I need 2 more. So anyways, that is why I'm doing this hunt right now. Maybe on my own time, I'll work on the Pokedex. Rank 10 for everything. Oh my god. Rank 10 for everything. How many am I actually missing? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. 7. 8. Well, I shouldn't count all this here. Anyways, yeah, that's why I'm hunting for a shiny Alpha Mr. Mime in this game. I thought about it. When I figured out that that Mime Jr. was the only Pokemon from this game that can evolve into something not in this game, I thought to myself, I want a shiny. But that's too easy, because I already have several Mime Jr. shiny in this game. I want a shiny Alpha. Bring on the challenge. Oh yeah, also in my Alpha Dex, I did get a second horde of Alpha Decidueyes. And then I thought, off chance I get a good nature one, I'll get it, I'll catch it. Because according to Google, the best nature for Decidueye is Adamant. So I caught every Alpha Decidueye in the horde, and the first one I caught was Adamant nature. Well, that's replacing my Alpha Rowlet that I was going to evolve. You know, that's something else I wanted to do in this game. I wanted to hunt for not a shiny, but an alpha adamant nature Rowlet and evolve it into the regular form. Because the Hisuian form, it just ain't it for me, fam. Like, the Hisuian form of Decidueye, look how they decimated my boy. So yeah, that's something else I want to hunt for at some point. Not shiny, but alpha, adamant nature Rowlet, or Dartrix, whichever one works. Because I needed to evolve into a Decidueye from another game, like a regular form Decidueye. So I was gonna do this yesterday, but went out for Father's Day dinner last night. I didn't watch any shows to go over, and I was way too tired from work. Hey, fun story about what happened last night. So last night, we went to Boston Pizza for dinner, and I treated the family to dinner. You know, my whole family was joking like, you got a job now? You should treat us. And, well, to make... Oh, crap. Hold on. Maybe it cannot be nighttime to hunt this thing. Well, fine. Let's go over and see if by chance the static Alpha Infernape is shiny. But yeah, my family is like, you have money now. You should treat us to dinner. And, fine. To make Dad happy on Father's Day, fine. Anyway, so throughout dinner, we tried to look at the house security cameras just to see what our dog was up to, and it wouldn't connect. We had no idea why. So when we got home, we found out that not only our house, but the entire neighborhood, the entire area, had a complete blackout. That's why the cameras at home weren't working. The house and the entire neighborhood had a complete blackout. And then we were panicking, you know, we were wondering, oh, all the food in the fridge is gonna go bad. Is there even hot water? What are we gonna do without entertainment? Because we, as a species, has grown so reliant on Wi-Fi and electricity that, you know, 10 minutes without it, we go crazy. Anyway, so my dad, being the, what's the word I'm looking for? Being the guy who prepares for everything that he was, of course, prepared for this. This is why my dad has flashlights all over the house. And another thing, this is why my dad also has batteries in the basement just sitting out in the open. You know, my whole life I wondered, why is there literally just a pile of batteries right here? Well, I found out last night. The basement has a bunch of well, not electric, it has a bunch of battery-powered lanterns. But obviously we can't leave the batteries inside, you know, for the foreseeable future, because then the batteries will drain, and then the thing will just rust and wear down. So we can't have the batteries constantly in there. So that is why my dad has literally just a pile of batteries in the basement, in case something like this ever happens. A blackout, the batteries are in reach for the battery-powered lanterns in the basement. Yeah, let me tell you, my dad is prepared for pretty much everything. You know, as a man of the house, a person with a family to protect, it makes sense. And as annoying as he is sometimes with this, he is right, you know? Be prepared, right? Anyway, so, yeah. And I'm not kidding you when I say literally after the batteries were put into the lanterns, 10 minutes later, the power came back on. My family literally panicked, thinking like, oh my god, what are we gonna do with no power? And then 10 minutes later, the power came back on. Yo, if the apocalypse ever happens and we are permanently cut off from electricity, we are fucked. We are absolutely dead. May as well just be on your knees and embrace death at that point. Anyway, so yesterday was Father's Day, and I actually missed breakfast with my grandpa because I had to go in early for work. Whoops. My family arranged breakfast with grandpa and the relatives, you know, to grab some early morning dim sum. But I couldn't make it because I had to go to work. I'm not particularly close with my grandfather, but, you know, it's like, I don't know if he'll still be around for next year's Father's Day. Oh well, that's a bit of a shame. Anyway, so we have a lot to go over today. We have a lot to talk about. But first, I want to show you guys something. So a couple of days ago in Pokemon Go was Frigiback's Community Day. And, well, because I'm at the new job, I can't walk around and grind. And that's sort of the foreseeable future. Like, all community days in the future, I can't grind as hard as I used to. And it particularly stuck with this one, because this one was the June Community Day, which is usually more special. It's usually, you know, just like for this one, it's usually the pseudo-legendaries. And, you know, I like Frigibacks, I like Baxcalibur. It may not be my #1 favorite pseudo, but it is up there in one of my tops. I like Baxcalibur. I want a good IV shiny one. And that's really all I wanted from this community day. At least one shiny that has good IVs. At least 3-star. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. Because I couldn't walk around and grind, that's all I wanted. Just one shiny with good IVs. The Lechonk community day that happened a couple months ago, I couldn't walk around for that either. I only got 3 shinies that day, and all of them had shit IVs. So, because this one is actually a Pokemon I like, and I wanted a shiny with good IVs, I popped the Incense, I did Palkia Spatial Rend. This is the first time I've used Spatial Rend. I don't usually use it. I know I could get so much more if I did use it, but nah. But yeah, I did. I did Palkia Spatial Rend, I did an Incense, and just hoping that, you know, I can just tap and catch while it was still busy at work. But, you know, when work was done being busy, then I could really dive in. And let me show you what I got from that day. First, I got this! I got a hundo regular Frigibax. Fuck! This could have been a shundo! But, fine. A hundo is a hundo, it's a win. You know, normally for community days, I evolve the shiny with the best IV one I evolved the shiny with the best IV I got. Only this time, I got something better because I got something worse. Let me show you what I got. I got this. I got a shiny 0 IV Frigibax. This is leagues rarer than a shiny 100. A shiny 0% is stupid rare. 10 years of playing Pokemon Go, and this is my first shiny 0 IV. 10 years of playing Pokemon Go, I have 3 Shundos to show for it. And now only 1 0 IV shiny to show for it. I actually got a shiny Nundo. I got a Schnundo. That is exceptionally rare. 0% IVs are way rarer than 100% IV. And to find one that's shiny? This is like one of the rarest things in my entire game. But then more playing, and I did get this. I got a shiny with good IVs, the 15, 12, 15. That is what I wanted. Well, not that specifically, but I did want a shiny with good IVs. And I did get it! I got what I asked for and so much more. Because I got not only a shiny with good IVs, I got a hundo and a 0% IV shiny. That is so much more rarer. And you know I'm gonna best buddy it. I don't know if I'll evolve it, though. Maybe I'll keep this as a trophy the way it is. But that's not all. Earlier today, I got this. I got my first shiny Galarian bird today. Today, I got a shiny Galarian Zapdos in Pokemon Go. My first shiny Galarian bird. I caught it on the first Pokeball, too. And I was really scared when I got it, because I was on my way to work, and I was in a bad Wi-Fi zone, like a bad signal zone. I was really afraid something would go bad, but thankfully it caught very first Pokeball. You bet I'm gonna best buddy that too. I've best buddied all of the Galarian birds I've caught, of which I don't have that many. I think I only have 1 Articuno, 2 Zapdos, and 2 Moltres. That may sound like a lot, but I also want to tell you that one of them, the Articuno, I paid for. Because they had that research one a long time ago you could buy, and I did. Okay, whenever there's an MMO, may as well check to see if there is a Mime Jr. outbreak. There is not. And I saved the game so I can save my berries. Okay, so, Pokemon stuff aside. Oh wait, there's one more thing. Pokemon Go for the 10th anniversary. Shiny Solgaleo is making its debut. I want it. I want it. I don't know if I'm gonna raid like crazy to get it, but it's a new shiny legendary in the game. I want it. I want it. I mean, it's exciting, yeah, but we've had shiny Solgaleo and Lunala available in Dynamax Adventures. If it was, say, shiny Cosmog and Cosmoem, that would be leagues more exciting. Because those Pokemon to this day are still shiny locked. But, oh well. Okay, so, let me see. We have a couple things to go over. I should check the map first, because sometimes if there's a question mark down here, then that could mean a Mime Jr. outbreak. Maybe I should get the shiny charm on my own. Whoops. Okay, so before we talk about the show, which I only have 1 episode to go over today, there has been a couple of trailers that came out. First of all, we got a brand new Chainsaw Man trailer. Based on the trailer, I don't know the Chainsaw Man manga. I don't know that. I don't know the ending to it. So based on the trailer, I was kind of thinking, is this a second movie? But no, it seems more like it's directing to a season 2. Like, I don't know the new characters that we have coming up. All I know is there's another character in the trailer that looks like Power with her blood horns. And I hear something about Santa Claus being a part of the next season's storyline. What? There was also a trailer for a Chainsaw Man mobile game, fully animated too, like the trailer. Wow, I can't wait to see the trailer look nothing like the game. I can't say I particularly love the music that accompanied that trailer, but it was cool. Oh yeah, to grind for the 10th ranking, I hated doing that. I hated doing that. I hate grinding in this game. Why do you think after all these years I never got the 10th ranking nor got the shiny charm? Yo, grinding in this game is just such a slog to me. And yet I find myself coming back to this game over and over for one reason or another. Like I said, Alpha Living Dex, Shiny Alpha Mime Jr., one day going for an Alpha Adamant Nature Rowlet, and if I'm crazy enough, maybe one day a Shiny Living Dex from this game because of that fucking Strange Ball. If I ever want a Shiny from a Strange Ball, it has to come from this game. Yeah, I think I'm gonna work on... Oh my god, I can't believe I still have to do this. I'm gonna work on the Shiny Charm on my own. Damn, I didn't know you had to do rank 10 for everything. I thought it was just 10th ranking, not for everything. Yeah, this hunt, especially since I'm going for a Shiny Alpha, this hunt will take a very long time. So yeah, I need to get the Shiny Charm. I'll do that on my own. Oh wait, it's nighttime. No, and it has to be day. Do they spawn during morning? Okay, anyway, so... We also got the trailer for Spider-Man Brand New Day, and it looks good. It looks really good. Savage Hulk is back. Amazing. As I've said in the past, yes, the Russo brothers did an amazing job with their films, but long term, they kind of did more harm than good. Like that 5-year time jump did a lot of harm to the timeline. How they completely neutered Hulk as a character. Like long term, Infinity War and Endgame kind of did more harm than good, especially Endgame. And also, based on the trailer, it looks like Punisher is going to play a sizable role in the film. You know, I was a little worried that Punisher would only be in the film for like a glorified cameo. But no, it kind of looks like Frank is going to have multiple scenes. Like he's going to be an actual core character in the film. Amazing. I'm here for it. But the implications about that is we still can't get Spider-Man fighting Kingpin. I would love to see it. Give me a movie or give me any sort of project. Spider-Man teams up with Daredevil to take down Kingpin, please. I'm begging you, please. Anyway, so aside from that, the Hand is back in this film. We also see Scorpion in his fully suited up Scorpion suit. But the way the trailer is structured, I'm really afraid Scorpion is just gonna be like an introduction fight to the film. Like Scorpion is only going to be in the very beginning of the film, and that's really it. Kind of like the way in Captain America Civil War, Crossbones was only in the beginning. I'm really afraid Scorpion is going to be literally just the introduction to the film. Anyways, so yeah, Spider-Man Brand New Day. I'm excited. I'm very excited. Also, one other thing that they have done, they canonized a certain meme that the fandom has. Ned Leeds is now the CEO of his own startup business or whatever. Some sort of investigation thing that he's trying to figure out the identity of Spider-Man. He is the CEO. CEO of what? Sony. We all know that Jacob Batalon, I think that's how you say his name. We all know that he is the CEO of sex, but for the film to actually acknowledge it, maybe not CEO of sex, but he is the CEO. Like, come on, they had to know. They had to have known the meme with him, and they implemented it into the film. And it's not even the first time that they've acknowledged the memes. No Way Home, we had lots of callbacks, like my back, and, you know, I'm something of a scientist myself. So I'm excited. Excited? Yeah, I'm excited for this film. I'm excited for Cider Man. Okay, so the other day, I thought of something. I'm about to go full-blown deep thoughts with the deep with y'all. I thought about something the other day. Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this. So, you know how gasoline expires after like a month or two? That's why, you know, you pump gas into your car and it won't be able to run if you just leave it there for like a year. Because over time, the gas will expire. So that's why, I'm pretty sure, at the end of each month, that's why gas prices are so low and lots of people line up to get gas at the end of the month. It's because, you know, the gas is about to expire. They need to get rid of the old stock before they get new stock. Anyway, so my point is, you know how gas expires after a month or two? Well, that actually got me thinking. Whenever you refill your tank, it's not 100% empty. Like, there's still a hint of gasoline in there. Sometimes you fill it up when there's half a tank left, sometimes you fill it up when there's a quarter, or sometimes you have 1 bar left, like you have just a smidge of gas left and you fill it up. Regardless, there's still leftover gas in there. So you have gas in there that has been exposed to the elements, is out, and could expire anytime, right? Maybe... You know what I'm trying to say? You have gas in your tank that is already has already seen the passing of time before you add in fresh gas. So, like, does combining the old gas with the new gas replenish, revitalize that old gas? Because you're then just diluting the fresh gas with the kind of worn down one, right? Think of it this way. You have half a carton of milk left. It's about to expire, but not yet. So you mix it with a fresh carton of milk. You know what I'm saying? Like, it would still be mixed in with old milk, but, like, does mixing it with new stuff freshen it up? The stabilizers restabilize it. Because, like, I was thinking, you mix the old gas with the new, eventually it'll just be diluted with old gas. You know? Kind of like with milk, you just keep on pouring in new milk into the old milk, and you just keep doing that. You just keep on drinking until there's one little bit left, and you keep on mixing it with new gas. What? With new milk. Eventually, you're just gonna keep on diluting it until all you have is old milk. Right? Adding new stuff to it doesn't revitalize the old stuff. So I was thinking, that got me thinking. When it comes to gas, you don't fill your tank when it's completely empty. There's still a little bit in there. And then you mix it in with new gas. So, like, eventually, the new gas will get diluted with old stuff. Am I being stupid? Let me think. What else was there to talk about? I really should have written this stuff down. Oh, what about The Wolf Among Us 2? That game's alive! That game is actually happening. We got that game announced like 5 years ago, and we barely got anything. But recently... Digital Circus, uh-huh. I'll mention that afterwards. Yeah, recently we actually been getting images and updates to the game. We're even getting a remaster, or yeah, like a re-release, a remastered version of the original game, The Wolf Among Us. Yo, the hype is starting to build back up. I'm not gonna lie, it's been like a decade plus. I don't really remember the events of the first Wolf Among Us game, but I remember it was great. And I've been waiting for a sequel for a very long time now. And it's finally happening. It's not coming out yet. It's coming out sometime next year. But it's still happening. It's finally happening. The Wolf Among Us 2 is finally happening. Oh, speaking of sequel games, so my friends on Instagram, my friends sent me a reel by this like buff guy who was talking about the Ocarina of Time re-release, remaster. And dude's tone is a little too hopeful. He was mentioning how the trailer, it's like, it's someone voicing over a tapestry, as if it's someone retelling the legend of this game, retelling the story of this game. And then this dude was overly hopeful, thinking like maybe Nintendo is going to put in more effort into the story, gonna add story elements, make it seem like this is someone telling the story of the events of the game. Maybe they'll add more. Maybe they'll change some things because this is now someone retelling the story. So some things could be lost to time. And I'm just thinking, man, you are overly uh wishfully thinking. Because, and I even tried to explain this to my friends too, Nintendo has never been known for deep, eccentric stories. You know, they always prioritize gameplay over plot. And I think if you look back, you can tell majority of their games is more gameplay than actual story. We can blame Miyamoto for that. And then, I was trying to explain to my friends, like, majority of Nintendo games, like, direct sequels, barely have anything to do with the original game. You know? Quote unquote direct sequels are more standalone than sequels. Think about it. Let's take Zelda, one of their more lore heavy games, story heavy games. But like I said, they still prioritize gameplay over story. So, some of the Zelda direct sequels, Majora's Mask, Phantom Hourglass, Tears of the Kingdom, those are more standalone than actual direct sequels. All three of those Zelda game sequels, they barely connect to the first game. Like, barely at all. Black and White and Black and White 2. Yeah, but those aren't Nintendo directly. Nintendo owns a portion of the Pokemon Company, but they don't develop the games. Tears of the Kingdom is like the only one in mind. But you have to think about, like, do you count Xenoblade? Well, I never played Xenoblade, so I can't speak for those. Aren't those developed by, like, Monolith Soft or whatever it's called? Yeah, I never played those games, so I can't speak for them. I never played Fire Emblem either, so I can't speak for that either. But they're Nintendo only. But they're all connected. Yeah, but at least I know this for Xenoblade. You follow a different protagonist each game. Sure, Shulk may show up in the other games, I think. But it's not really directly following the events from the first game and referencing the first game all that much. Maybe, I don't know. Fire Emblem has some games that are a couple years apart. You literally see Rex and his kids. I don't know, man. I never played Xenoblade. But still, something like Mario Galaxy 2 barely connected to the first game. Prioritized gameplay over plot. Yeah, Nintendo has never been one to prioritize plot over gameplay, revolutionary gameplay. I tried explaining this to my friends, and they were just like, sounds kind of like a scam to me. And I tried to explain to them, well, if you think about it, it kind of makes sense, you know? They don't want to alienate their fan base. Someone sees this game, they want a game to be somewhat self-contained. They don't want someone to have to experience a whole nother project just to understand what's going on in this. So if it's self-contained with loose connections, it's like, yeah, someone picking up this game for the first time with no background knowledge of anything else can enjoy this game. You know, the average 6-year-old isn't gonna ask their mom to buy Breath of the Wild because they want to play Tears of the Kingdom. And I doubt the average mom will be like, okay, my son wants this game to play that game. Done. You know, game sequels are, at least sometimes, game sequels are different from movies, you know? Movie sequels, especially if there's a 2 slapped on the title, you kind of expect it to follow up from the first film, unless it's a prequel. Well, sometimes the second film follows a different cast of characters, like with the Smile films, but whatever. A lot of times, with movies at least, a sequel you would expect to follow up from the first film, so it kind of makes sense. Yeah, you're kind of expected to watch the first film. But gaming is different, or at least Nintendo's philosophy is different. You have games that have sequels out there that tie directly to the first game, but that's not how Nintendo does it. And I would love for Nintendo games to have more connectivity. While the Zelda franchise, yes, there are hints of an overall timeline, connectivity between games is absolute dog shit. You would think that a franchise with a whole game, with several games, with literal time travel as a gimmick, why can't we ever time travel and see two links on screen? Why are there so many links? I don't know, people just like to name their kid Link. I mean, in lore, at least for Zelda, every newborn female into the royal family is named Zelda. Since the beginning of time, I guess? Oops. But when it comes to Link, it's like, well, there actually is a handful of games, Wind Waker to be precise, where there is a legend, a legend of a past Link, so then the new Link gets named after that guy. But that's not the case in every game. So let me think. What else is there to talk about? You mentioned the amazing Digital Circus, so the ninth and final episode is out, and I have not watched a single episode yet. I will. That is another series I plan to start. And ha! Unlike you losers who had to wait 3+ years for the franchise or the series to finish, me on the other hand, I get to watch it all in one go. Ha! I'll watch it at some point. Today we have one From episode to get through. I didn't have a lot of time. I don't have a lot of free time these days to watch a lot of shows, and that majorly sucks. But I hear you say, but you had time to alpha hunt and grind in this game? Yeah, did I stutter? I don't have much time to watch shows anymore. Shake my head, missing all the random theories people had over the years. For indie, being part of the communities is pretty fun. Oh, really? Really? The amazing Digital Circus communities, really? From what I've seen online, it doesn't sound like I want to be part of those communities. Especially after that Fortnite collab. But yeah, I just don't have a lot of time to watch shows these days. Well, I try to keep away from that side. Nah, a real fan would embrace that side. What? Then again, I haven't watched the show yet. Who knows? Once I watch the show, maybe I'll be converted. Maybe I'll see the light and see the vision that side of the fandom has. So anyway, so today we only have one episode of From to get through. And I think maybe next time I'll just like speed run through the rest of the season, just get the rest of the season done. There's only 3 more episodes left in this season. I think next time I'll just breeze through all of that so we can get to the new shows. What are those new shows? Well, there's still Spider Noir that came out like over a month ago. There is... What was the other one? There was another one. Whoops. Well, anyways, so there's Spider Noir. Like I said, there's still Amazing Digital Circus I have yet to watch. 9 episodes I don't have to wait for. I did miss the theater experience, though. I missed that with the Reze movie, and now I missed it with this. Oh well, what are you gonna do? Ah. So there's those two, and then there was the other two that came out earlier this year I still haven't watched. Ted Season 2, Beast Game Season 2. I think those ones can wait. You know, we have more pressing shows to get through. Still no Mime Jr. Anything else I missed? What other things should I go over? Oh, right, I remember something I wanted to go over. So, two old songs I still enjoy. Unironically, I know this song has been memed to oblivion. I like listening to Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up. Like, unironically, I actually like that song outside of the memes. So I like listening to that song. And I've known this mashup for quite a while, but then it got me thinking. What am I doing? It's nighttime. They don't even spawn because of this. So the mashup of Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up, combined with, how do I pronounce this name? Yaosabi, the Japanese singer. Mixed up with that singer's Yoru ni Kakeru song, or Into the Night. First of all, you gotta love the creativity people have sometimes. Combining two different songs that are completely unrelated, and for it to actually work. The lyrics for Never Gonna Give You Up, the way the song is sung, actually matches pretty well with the music, the theme, the tone of the other song. I mean, the Japanese song is about suicide, and then the English song is about commitment, relationship, loyalty. Polar opposites that surprisingly work when you mix the two songs together. So there's two different mashups on YouTube between these two songs, and then that got me thinking. Okay, so there's one mashup of actual English and then Japanese vocals together, and that got me thinking. Is there actually any songs like that? Like, is there any songs out there that are like that? A collab between two singers. One side is one language, the other is the other language. And I don't mean, like, one portion of the song that is a different language. I mean, literally. Half the song is one language, the other half is the other language. Two singers doing a collab. One half English, one half, let's say, Japanese. Like, a collab. And each person sings their own language. Is there any songs like that? Like, is there any songs like that? Half English, half Korean, or half English, half Chinese. Literally a collab between two singers. Each singer sings their own language. And it's like, never mind if the listener even understands the other half. Like, is there any songs like that? I don't know too much about music. I don't know too many music artists. So I'm not too sure. Isn't that crazy to think? Like, are there any songs like that out there? A collab between two artists from completely different countries. They collab, they sing their own language. Half the song is English, half the song is, say, Japanese. Is there any songs like that? Hmm. Man, I gotta wake up early tomorrow, too. Okay, one quick thing, and then I will go over the From episode. Oh, you want to hear something stupid my dad told me? So, my dad, first of all, he was sharing the bad news that we, uh, we can't sell this house and move to a smaller one for smaller rent because over time the value for this house has gone down, like way down. So we actually won't gain anything or gain really anything at all if we were to sell this house now. So we just have to endure continuously living in this house and its high rent. It wasn't that much of a problem back then, but in this economy, it's a bit of a problem now. Anyway, so he was telling me, once again, the importance of money. And then he was telling me, you need to treat money with respect. You need to treat the things you want good. So, don't leave your money don't leave your money just out on the counter in your bathroom. The bathroom is a dirty, filthy place. You should not leave your money just lying on your bathroom counter. You need to treat your money with respect if you want more of it. Well, excuse me if I have money in my pockets and, where do I change my clothes? The bathroom. Well, excuse me for taking the money out of my pockets before I change out of my outdoor pants and just leaving the money on my counter. My bathroom counter. You know, when I change into my pants, I change in my bathroom, and then oh look, there's money I left on the counter. Let me pocket it. Let me pocket that before I go. So just another stupid nitpick thing my dad trying to tell me, trying to get me to do. If you want more money in life, you need to treat it with respect. So don't leave your money hanging out on your bathroom counter. The bathroom is a filthy, dirty place. It is no place for money. Man, I swear to God, I feel like that's just a nitpick for the sake of nitpicking. By the way, I could easily end this hunt before it even begins. Because Blaine's developed a website, he even developed an app. You can generate a Pokemon, you can customize its level, its moves, its stats, what have you. You can trade it to your own game, and it'll be your OT. It'll be Pokemon home safe, it'll be server safe, it won't be flagged as a hacked Pokemon, yada yada yada. I could do that. It would have my trainer ID, my OT, but nah, that's a coward's way out. I want to get this myself. I could easily just generate myself a shiny alpha and just call it a day. My OT and everything. But no, I want to do this myself. I don't know if I'll be able to get a shiny charm by the next time I do this. I hope. I'll try my best. But it's like, I'm grinding for alphas right now, you know? And to take time off of that to do anything, it's like, ooh, that really irks me. Because when my mind is set on a project, I want to get that project done. So I'm hunting for alphas, that's all I want to do. I don't want to spend no time doing nothing else. Like, it was a real pain for me to stop doing I almost said shiny. Stop doing the Alpha Cherubi and Cherum hunt to grind for not only the 10th ranking, which has proven to be pointless, and also to grind for the Mime Jr. Dex perfection. I hated doing that. I hated taking time off of what I was grinding for just to get other stuff done. Whoa, what? There's a shiny somewhere. Is that a Staravia? Is it a shiny Staravia? Actually, I think it's that one. That one looks a little more brown. I don't want that. That's not the shiny I want. Is my page for that even perfected? No, it's not. I had a higher chance to get a shiny Mime Jr. than I did this. And yet I got this. Well, at least we got a shiny tonight. We got a shiny. Which one is it? Is it you? I think it's you. We got a shiny tonight. After my shiny charm blunder, which, okay, at least that's something. I really thought to get the shiny charm, you had to get rank 10. Not rank 10 for the entire freaking Pokedex. Well, now I know. And it's no wonder after all these years I never got the shiny charm. Okay, give me a second. Let me do one thing real quick, and then we'll go over the From episode. Okay, let's go over that From episode. So, this one is Season 4, Episode 7. We begin with Randall trying to open the door that was found from the last episode. And this is really the only time Randall is in the episode. The actor had to do something to get paid, I guess. Yeah, the door is sealed and unable to open. Are you fucking kidding me? They just had to think of some excuse to pad out the season, to stretch out the storyline. I don't know if this is better or worse than what I predicted. I predicted that in this episode, before they go in, they were going to spend the entire episode planning their attack. I think this is worse. Now they have this new plot element that the door is sealed and they actually just cannot open it. Motherfuck. But whatever. So the door is sealed, they cannot open it, and then they even put a talisman on the door just in case. Boyd has something to tell everyone, but wants to tell Victor and Henry first. Henry still being drunk from the end of the last episode. Tabitha and Ethan tell Julie about the dolls, and Tabitha also tells them about her past lives. Boyd also tells the same thing to Victor and Henry. The fact that Tabitha and Jade are reincarnations that keep on coming here, and yo, Henry, Tabitha is a reincarnation of your wife. Yeah, Henry does not take it easily. Henry is actually pretty pissed about this. Yeah, Victor, after hearing this, he wants to find the man in yellow, warning Boyd that he's back and that everything could be happening again. You have to remember, Victor is the only survivor, the only one who has lived through 2 cycles, or lived through a cycle and is now living through another. Victor is the only survivor from his quote-unquote generation. His group of people who were once here. He's the only one who survived. So he's seen everything the man in yellow did. Anyway, so they tell everyone the truth. Some question if Jade and Tabitha have been here before. Has everyone been here before? No. Only those 2. Oh, wait, no. This scene also had Randall. Because Randall questions, like, then why are we all here if you 2 keep coming back here and we're not reincarnations either? And Jade, I guess what he suggested is a better explanation than what I would have said. Jade suggested the children have been crying out for help to both Tabitha and me for centuries. Maybe deep down you guys heard the cries as well. Well, that's a much better explanation than what I would have given. I would have said, well, you guys are just unfortunate byproducts. You guys just kind of got roped in. You guys kind of just became collateral damage. That's what I would have said. That's what I think. But Christy questions how they can believe this, since all this is coming from a mushroom trip. I'm a little surprised that Jade never pointed out that Henry and Miranda, they saw this through an acid trip. Like, that could have been a pretty good argument. But anyway, so Boyd points out an even better argument. The hidden door. Something Jade could not have known about if not for the shrooms. And he also points out what happened to Jim. He mentions what was written in the barn. Knowledge comes at a cost. Jim may have died because of what Jade and Tabitha remembered. Boyd also points out the message could also be a good sign. It means that they're close. So close to figuring the place out. Your enemies don't threaten you unless they're scared of you, according to Boyd. That is a really good point. The message could be a scare tactic, like don't you try to figure anything else, or else there will be consequences. We don't want you finding anything out. Oh, by the way, Sophia is also there, listening to everything. Literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. Yeah, Henry comes in and hard rejects this news. Jade tries to convince Henry, but he's not budging. So, Tabitha catches Julie smoking pot. Me personally, no child of mine will be smoking anything. Yeah, Julie doesn't really believe Tabitha's story at all. And she walks off. Victor shows up to ask Tabitha to come with him to figure stuff out about the man in yellow. So they go off and do that. We'll follow on that later. Boyd, Jade, and Kenny brainstorm their plan. So they need to think. They need to think about everyone who's been in the tunnels. Map every entrance and exit. Head count on the monsters to know how many there are. Like, they need to plan out everything. And while they're planning, Jade also notices Boyd's hand is shaking. His Parkinson's is back. Wow, we haven't seen that in quite a long time. Quite a long time, to the point I completely forgot that Boyd has Parkinson's. Wow! I forgot, but I'm so glad the writers didn't forget. Yeah, Boyd goes to see Acosta, who is having a hard time believing the whole reincarnation story. I mean, can you blame her? So Boyd wants teams down the tunnels and in the storage room. Boyd wants her to find what she can on the man in yellow. Through the things in the storage room. Anything. What? Anything. That's why Boyd also wants another group in the storage room. He wants a group down the tunnels, and he wants a group in the storage to find anything they can on the man in yellow. The man in yellow being another thing that's hard for her to believe. She also tosses him the toy camera she was playing with. Boyd uses it and sees his wedding photo. What the fuck? You know, this show just throws random things for no reason. But, like, Season 4 has finally been answering stuff, but they still haven't answered what the hell is going on with Boyd, right? Like, a couple episodes earlier, we saw his wedding ring just spawn in out of thin air. And this episode, he's playing with a toy camera and he sees his wedding photo for some reason. What about the hand that came out of the ground and tried to pull him in? They better have a goddamn good explanation for why that keeps happening to him. And if their explanation is just he's going crazy and seeing things, that is going to be such a lame answer. Anyway, so Christy was checking up on Donna and is also upset she wasn't told about Jade and Tabitha sooner. She also questions Boyd on his health. Is his Parkinson's back? Is the shaking still happening? She wants to do a full exam on Boyd. We'll have to see if that ever happens. So Boyd visits Donna, where they discuss all the good news that has been happening lately. Nothing but good news. Boyd also wants to use, or try to use, those totems that killed the dolls on the monsters. He wants to see if those same totems will kill the monsters just like they killed the dolls. But Donna just points out they could just respawn, like with Fatima. So I get Donna's concern, like, we kill those things, they could just infinitely respawn. But I also agree with Boyd, like, let's worry about one problem at a time. Like, Boyd's thinking, he wants everyone to be safe in the tunnels. If they can temporarily kill them, just to get them out of the way so that they can safely traverse the tunnels for the time, then maybe sacrificing a handful of girls' pregnancies in town is worth it. I'm sorry, what? Anyway, so Boyd tells Ellis' plan to attack the monsters head-on. Out in the streets, in the middle of the night. Because the monsters, they're going to think that it'll just be another normal night. They won't be expecting anyone to attack them head-on. So it'll catch them off guard. You know what? I don't need those anyways. So Boyd's plan is to attack them, then run to the sheriff's office. Wait a second, I thought the sheriff's office had a big gaping hole in the wall. Didn't a car crash in the side of the wall? Isn't there a big gaping hole in the station right now? And even if they leave the car there, there's still enough of a gap for the monsters to crawl in. It's like, what do you mean the station? You never addressed the hole in the wall! I've been waiting all season for the show to address the goddamn hole in the wall. There's a big gaping hole in the wall of the station, exposing it to the outside. They never address that again. It's like, what do you mean you're gonna run to the station anyways? But later on, we do hear in the episode that Boyd does have a backup plan. in case the station wouldn't work, which it shouldn't work to begin with. Henry goes to try to talk to Tabitha, and she's not home. He just lets himself in. You people need to start locking your doors. Like, there's a lot of weird things going on in this town. You people gotta lock your doors. Anyway, so Henry just lets himself in. He starts hallucinating a heart monitor. And he hallucinates it's connected to him. He hallucinates the sound of a heart monitor, like, beeping. And then he hallucinates a light flashing into his eye. More on that later. Victor, Tabitha, and Ethan go investigate the car the man in yellow originally came in, back in like the 70s. Victor sits inside and finds a sack of teeth. We saw after Man in Yellow turned into Sophia that, she pulled out the poor guy's tooth. I guess this is where he's been stashing them the whole time. Tabitha also goes and investigates Miranda's car and has a brief flashback of Miranda driving into town. Victor, and this is actually a pretty big revelation, kinda. I don't know if revelation is the right word. Victor wants to show the bag of teeth to Ethan to prepare him. Because, according to Victor, the last time Tabitha was here as Miranda, she came with a boy and a girl. And only the boy survived. That's actually a very good point. Tabitha is here again with a boy, Ethan, and a girl, Julie. And if the same thing happens again, Ethan will be just like Victor, the only survivor. That's actually a really good point. Anyways, so Sophia visits Boyd at the station, and Boyd just spills his whole plan on using the totems to kill the monsters to Sophia. Just spills his entire plan straight to the enemy's face. Obviously, Boyd has no idea. But, like, damn you writers. Anyway, so Kenny and Jade, mostly Jade, uses wires to make a map instead of just drawing one. Even Kenny points at us, like, why are we literally crafting a map using wires instead of just drawing a map? And this was also a fun moment. Jade guesses what Kenny was before he ended up stuck here. He was an administrator. Kenny was an administrator. His parents must have been so proud. Ellis walks in, wants to talk to Kenny alone outside, and Henry also comes in for more drinking. Sophia goes to the livestock and takes an egg from the chicken dens. She actually smells them before picking the right one. What this has to do with anything later in the episode, even after what it's revealed the egg is for, I don't know. Julie is sitting at the diner when Elgin comes in with the rest of the team assigned to the diner. Yeah, Elgin and Julie talk for the first time in quite a long time. Remember when Elgin first arrived to Fromville and Julie was the one greeting him? Yeah, that kind of stopped abruptly. That kind of came to a halt. Yeah, Julie is angry and has completely given up. But Elgin still believes there is a truth here. And he also understandably won't tell her about his eye. Anyway, so Jade tries to drink with Henry to convince him of what he's doing. And then Henry hallucinates again. hearing a heart monitor, and this time he hallucinates completely being in a hospital bed with Victor by his side. We did see last episode, Sophia did ask him, what if all of this was a dream? What if none of this is real? What if all of this was a dream? So we did see Sophia make him question that and then spike his drink. So it kind of looks like, maybe Henry is gonna go in a downward spiral thinking, none of this is real. I'm dreaming. I need to wake up. I'll prove it. None of you are real. I can kill somebody and there will be no repercussions. No consequences. I could jump off a building and I would just wake up in my hospital bed. Kind of seems like they're setting up Henry losing his mind. Anyway, so we see Sarah for the first time in the episode. Boyd explained his plan to Sarah off screen. Again with the show and explaining everything off screen. Anyway, so his plan is to have people by the doors ready to let him in case. In case he can't make it into the station, which he shouldn't be able to anyways, he wants everyone to be by their doors ready to let him in case. Actually, not a bad backup plan. Finally, a plan with some sort of merit. Some sort of backup strategy. Thank you! But, of course, we know since Boyd explained his entire plan straight to Sophia's face, yeah, we know that's not gonna happen. Yeah, but Sarah wants to be the one to be in the streets attacking. She volunteers. Kind of a way to make amends for killing her own brother and trying to kill a little boy. But Sarah, now's not the time to sacrifice yourself for redemption. Okay, so we see what Sophia took the egg for. She took the egg to Roger's body. She whispers something to it, and then she cracks it on his chest. The egg cracks yellow and red, implying that it was fertilized. Anyway, so she also whispers to his body, it's time to play. And honestly, seeing the rest of the episode, this doesn't lead to much anyways. Alright, nightfall has come. Donna tries to get up, but Fatima stops her. Anyways, so Sophia goes to spend the night at Colony House. She's about to watch all the chaos unfold. She did say this is her favorite part. Well, maybe not specifically this part. So Ellis and Kenny try to convince Boyd that Kenny should be the one out there, not Boyd. They bring up the fact that, what if his legs start shaking and gives out there? Sleep time for you? Alright, see ya. I'm the one who has to wake up early for work, but okay. Yeah, so they bring up his legs potentially giving out like they did before. Boyd obviously does not want to sacrifice or put anyone else in danger for his reckless plan, but of course his hand shakes right on time, proving them right that he cannot be the one out there. So Kenny is indeed the one to be outside. Remember what I mentioned last time? Before I watched the episode, I saw that Ricky He on Instagram mentioned, hey, that was a pretty close call for my character Kenny this episode, huh? Huh? Pretty close call! Okay, so Sophia chants something, and then Roger's body begins to move. It almost seems like Roger is actually alive again, and he is terrified what has happened to him. Who wouldn't be, The last thing he remembered, a giant monster doll was on top of him and ripped off his jaw. Like, actually ripped his jaw off. And now that he's awake and conscious again, His mouth is sewn shut, like stitched up and sewn shut, and he also cannot see. He has button for eyes. When did this happen? I don't know. It happened after his supposed death. We don't see it happen, but, yeah. But yeah, he's understandably pretty terrified when he, when he resurrects. And for some reason, he rips his own jaw off again? I don't know, his mind was in complete panic mode, I guess. So Kenny goes out and stabs one of the monsters. So the monster actually shrieks in pain, but then he just gets up, brushes it off, and is just like, just kidding! So, okay, now we know the totem doesn't do shit to the monsters. And Kenny is just standing there? He's just standing there letting himself be surrounded? You fool! Literally seconds before Kenny ran out, Boyd was telling him, just stab one of them and run. Don't even turn around to look back. It's like, you did literally nothing he instructed you to do. You stabbed him and you just stood there watching. But whatever. So, the monsters, they're blocking every door. They're blocking the door to every house. So Kenny is kind of screwed. But, lucky for Kenny, not a single one of the monsters blocked the door to the bus. So Kenny runs into the bus, he tries to close the door, but before he can close the door, one of the monsters stops him. It was the same monster that was reborn from Fatima. And anyway, so Fatima mentioned previously that she still feels connected to the monster. And she actually is. She sees out of the monster's eyes, following and... well, yeah, not chasing, but following Kenny. Like, Fatima was really about to see, out of the monster's perspective, ripping Kenny apart. So, Kenny... quick thinking there, man. Kenny climbs to the bus of the roof, but he is surrounded. He can't jump off the bus, because the bus is completely surrounded. I kind of feel like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe Kenny could have made a running long jump, and jumped past the monsters and bolted. Absolutely run as fast as he's ever ran in his whole life. Because we've seen the monsters, they don't run. They only casually walk. Anyway, so the monster also gets up onto the roof and is about to kill Kenny, taunting him that, I was the one who killed your father, Kenny. He made so many strange noises. Will you make strange noises too? So Kenny shows no fear. He was about to die with honor, not gonna lie. But before the monster attacks Kenny, actually does a CGI transformation, Fatima screams no, and that actually stops the monster. Okay. Maybe Fatima can learn how to use this connection to overpower the monster somehow. You know what this tells me, though? Fatima can see out of the monster's eyes. She would be able to tell what the monster is seeing. Like, say, the tunnels. Fatima can be a guide to tell them, hey, the monsters are coming close to us in the tunnels. Or something along the lines. She could also use the monster's eyes to map out the tunnels in great detail. Anyway, so moving on. So, Kenny sees his opportunity. He pushes him off the roof, jumps back into the bus, and shuts the door. So he is now protected by the talisman. Wow, very convenient for him that Not a single one of the monsters went into the bus to wait. You know? Very convenient that they all stood outside menacingly. Not a single one of them thought to wait inside the bus in case he were to jump back in. Lucky Kenny. Like, he got so lucky the monsters did not think this through. And with the help of his quick thinking, he survived the night. Okay, so, what about Roger? Well, Roger has breached Colony House, somehow. It didn't look like he was using much force to ram the door open. It looks like he just casually pushed the door open and walked in. It really did look like he didn't use much force to get in. He just casually opened the door, but he was still panicking, so he frantically went in. You know, he didn't bash the door down. He just casually opened the door and was just freaking out inside. But after Roger came in, uh-oh, the door is wide open and monsters are approaching. But they closed the door before any of them get in anyways. So, yeah. And then... So, Roger's inside causing a stir. Chaos ensues. Everyone's panicking, and Sophia is looking down menacingly, enjoying her work. Elgin uses the totem to impale and kill Roger, and that's the end of the episode. It has me thinking, what was the point of the egg? Like, what was the point of grabbing an egg to use to wake him up, to resurrect him? It's like... I suppose being implied that the egg is fertilized, she transferred the life from, or the what would have been a life from the egg to Roger to bring him back. But if that's the case... Oh look, there's a Mime Jr. over there. Great. Let's see. If that's the case, then the man in yellow absolutely has the power to bring people back from the dead. Now, before you think he could bring Jim back, hold on, pump the brakes. Roger, when he came back to life, he was still in his injured state. He wasn't healed. His mouth was still stitched, his eyes were still replaced by buttons. If Jim were revived the same way, for whatever reason, his throat would still be slashed and ripped out. He would still not be able to survive. I don't know. Maybe the man in yellow has healing powers that he just doesn't use. Did I not save? Wait, did I not save? No, I didn't save. I didn't. This is a totally different one. Oh, wait, did I save after the shiny Staravia? Uh-oh. Okay, I did. Okay, phew! I still have the shiny Staravia. Okay. Okay, so I missed out on that Mime Jr. outbreak, but it's fine. As long as I have the shiny Staravia still. But yeah, there's the episode. A lot of weird things that happened in this episode. They still have not covered the big gaping hole in the station. So this was episode 7. There's 3 episodes left. 8, 9, and 10. Next episode they're gonna have to wonder, wait, we thought Roger was dead, but was still alive, and he somehow went on a rampage? And, it didn't even seem like Roger was being controlled by Sophia or the man in yellow. It kind of looks like all she did was revive him, resurrect him, and just let him panic and run around. So I don't know if Roger was able to see, with his eyes either being replaced or blocked by buttons. I don't know if Roger was able to see. But, if you were in Roger's position, the last thing you remembered was dying. You come back, not only is your face completely fucked up, but you're alone, it's dark, you are scared out of your mind. It would make sense the first thing Roger would do is go to the settlement. And be panicked, too, so he'll completely bust right in, or just casually open the door, potentially leading the monsters inside, but thankfully the door was closed immediately. Another thing, too, it's like, we've already established earlier in the episode, Tabitha didn't lock her door. Is not locking your doors just a thing? You people, I swear to God, you people better not tell me you don't lock your doors. You better not rely on the talisman so much that you don't lock the fucking doors. I swear to God. You don't need to go crazy and board up the doors, because then you'll need to take it off every single morning, and eventually it'll just wear down, but lock the doors, people! It's like the talismans, you cannot bank on that the entire time. You gotta lock the doors. And also, we still never got an origin for the talismans. Sure, we got the origin of how they were found, but we still don't know where they come from, how they were created, why they stop the monsters. Anyway, so yeah. It kind of seems like Sophia's plan was to revive Roger, have him panicked, go to the settlements, and just let the monsters in, unironically. But, did the monsters not go after him for some reason? He's still human. Did the monsters try to go after him, but he just ran away? Or did the monsters just not attack him? What? Did Sophia instruct them, hey, this one was already dead, let him be, so that he can lead you to a feast, an absolute bloodbath? But, we never saw that. If that were to be the case, that was all off-screen. This fucking show. Anyways, so I don't think I'm gonna go for 2 hours today. I think I'll do one more check, and then I'll call it, because I do need to wake up early for work tomorrow. So this will be the last one, and then that'll be it for today. Let me just preemptively make it early. Okay, no our target this time. But we did get a shiny Staravia, which is better than nothing. And I will try my best to get the shiny charm for next time, but no promises. I only found out today you could sell items. I'm not kidding. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.